back, everybody. It is the working brother and Dragoljub Bosnić, and we're back at you with another talk. For us, it is still today, and for you, it is tomorrow or yesterday. Drago, welcome back.
Great to be
Been a
here
long
again,
time.
Yep.
Today we've got a very interesting topic. I'm gonna call it officially the Wagner Circus. Oh, by the way, shout out to John Woo, whose music this is, also known as the Mastermind. Check him out wherever you get your music. He donated to the Working Brother. So yeah, the circus that is the Wagner Coup. Bunch of memes have come out about it, including this one. Apple Vision Pro, $34.99. Prigozhin changes reality while you read the news.
Reminds me of Russian bot simulator that is very popular. It's been very popular for over a year now. So.
Yeah, Russia already lost and is losing and keeps losing.
Yep.
That's why. That's why there was a coup, right?
Yep. Confirmed.
Coup? Maybe we should not. Okay, have a great day. Tell us your take initially. When you saw your news feed, what did you think was going on?
Not gonna lie, I was shocked. I was shocked because I thought, well, maybe it's really happening, and then I've seen other stuff, that kind of made it like sketchy. So I just want to say, like, I'm still not 100% sure what happened. Like, I don't know all the details, obviously. Like, if I knew, I wouldn't tell them here, obviously. But the point is, like, I'm still thinking, like, I'm still not 100% sure what happened. However, I'm still leaning towards the possibility of it being a psyop, obviously, because if you look at everything that's been going on.
Disclaimer, I'm gonna play some video in the background while you're talking, so people who might not have seen everything can have some visuals, and some of it or most of it is coming from a compilation that History Legends did. We've got History Legends. Everybody should check him out. Even though the Working Brother doesn't know him personally, I like his take on this story because at least he says he doesn't know either, which should be realistically anyone's take, like you just said, because we have no idea of knowing because we don't know all the facts, and anybody who pretends to know or who says for sure it was one way or the other is, I can't remember. I can't remember the American expression, like pulling at strings or something. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, so we've got video playing here in the background as Drago takes us through his interpretation.
Yeah,
Tell us what.
Yeah, like what I was about to say. Like it wouldn't be the first time that Russia has rebellions. Like they've had rebellions in the past, and it's not a new thing for them, obviously, or like. And in that regard, like, this is not strange at all. However, on the other hand, the moves that were made by the Russian state since then, and what happened to Prigozhin and what he was saying, especially in that video playing right now, and the video with Semyon Pegel where he actually is announcing the coup like months in advance, like those things were very sketchy to me. And as already mentioned, the very fact that if Prigozhin rebelled against Putin, which is like one of the most powerful men on the planet, with one of the largest military forces behind him, now suddenly he goes to Belarus, where a much less powerful man is going to be in charge of that country. And
hey, are you saying that Lukashenko is less powerful than Putin?
Yeah, like obviously, like in official terms, like Belarus is a much smaller country than Russia, obviously, and with a much smaller military force. Mm-hmm. So like, why would you want a guy who just rebelled against Putin to be in your country if he actually rebelled against him? That's just the thing that doesn't adds up at all. Like, I mean, if somebody rebelled against someone that's very powerful that would you like call that person to your house, your place, believing that they will not rebel against you. So that's the point, right?
This is why I
Um,
call it the Rostov Circus, for people who might be wondering. Um,
yeah,
the Rostov Circus was in town, and as you can see, where's my mouse? Somewhere here? Come on, there you are. As you can see, these posters right next to this tank that like barely fit in here, but had to like scrape this wall a bit. Um, are posters
yeah.
for a circus. This is gonna be in town. So that is why this is officially, by the working brother, and maybe some other people, I don't know, referred to as the Rostov Circus, or the Wagner Circus, however you like. Yeah, there's a lot of dodgy things. Like, for example, some of these tanks that we saw or are going to see in the footage had their turret covers on. This is footage
Yeah.
of the helicopter getting shot down. This is more of the Rostov Circus. Go on, go on. Tell us what you were saying.
Yeah, like what I wanted to say is that essentially there are a lot of things that don't add up. As you mentioned, like the tank turrets are covered, which means they're not ready for battle. Like their sensors, they're not able to see anything, and they're not able to shoot at anyone. And also, like that convoy that was supposedly going to Moscow had the tanks on truck transport, which means like they're sitting ducks. Like who the hell just goes to attack a city of 20 million people with tanks on trucks, right? Because like obviously, if this was true, the Russian Air Force would have just destroyed them all. So on the other hand, like there are certain things that have happened, like with the helicopters and then the airplanes. Like I can't exclude the possibility that these incidents actually happened, but they were isolated in terms of that Wagner wasn't 100% controlled. And if it was a coup, like the commanding officers would not tell soldiers, "Oh man, we're going into a like a psyop coup. Pretend that you're fighting." No, like it's very like they will not relay that information to lower ranking officers, which means that it's not impossible that they actually shot down some of these helicopters. That wasn't a psyop that actually happened, but it was like a part of the whole narrative. So like there's a lot of combination of stuff that could have happened. So like if you're going to have a psyop of a coup, you would
Hmm.
still have to do it convincingly enough to convince whoever you're trying to convince that this is really happening.
Yeah. Um, the way I look at it is, other than all the suspicious things, including the numbers and the tanks and the stuff like that, um, people's usual counter argument is, what about people died? People died.
Yeah.
What about the pilots and the people who were on that plane? I actually have some pictures of that plane. Let me find the crash of plane. There we go. TV. This is the plane. May the heroes who died for the special military operation rest in peace. First of all. But second of all, I think the grand total is like 13 people or like 15
Yeah.
people, something like that. 11 on the plane
Yeah,
and then
I see
two
numbers
two in
going up
the.
to 39, but I think that's like an overstatement.
In any case, one reaction that I got from somebody who is much closer to the conflict than I am and has been a guest on the show is that many people die on the fronts very often.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, um, number two, there's the argument that could be made that those people were trying to run, and that's why it needed to be taken care of. What do you think of
Yeah,
that
that's
conspiracy
possible.
theory? Tell us a bit about your interpretation. While I play some video, I have to attend to an emergency.
Yep. So in that regard, like we've seen the videos of and I mean the footage of the helicopters getting shot down, or the footages of the wreckages, So like I can't say if it's real. I can't say if it's AI generated. I can't say if the footage is like from the SMO or whatever. Like I can't confirm or deny any of that. However, if it is a psyop, then definitely like they need something that's going to convince everyone it was a psyop. It wasn't a psyop. It was a real thing. But if it was a real thing, then I guess Prigozhin is the stupidest guy in the history of mankind, because he just ruined his own like business empire. That's like officially, according to the mainstream media, it's crumbling now all across Russia. So again, a lot of things don't add up, and I'm just skeptical about the official narrative in that regard. And the behavior of soldiers that we're seeing on the streets, it's I don't know, like it doesn't seem like they're trying to conquer anything, and it doesn't seem like they're ready to fight anyone. It just looks more like a drill to me.
Let's call this a technical difficulty and see if we can pause this recording and then come back in a second or two. Unpause. All right, we're back, I think. Yeah, we're back. Technical difficulties, or like unannounced courier. Plus, Drago got the chance to like plug in his phone, so he has battery now. And now you have a commentary of both of us. I was going to ask you, because I was listening even though I was waiting for the courier earlier. The political side of it. What do you make of Putin's speeches? The first speech didn't even mention Wagner. You know, what do you make of the generals coming out and being like, oh, this is serious. You have to be serious. And if you pay attention to the wording, that's my take. If you pay attention to the wording is very specific. And as they say, the devil is in the details. That's my take on it. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Obviously, if they wanted to create the narrative of an actual coup, they would have to say all of those things that they did. So, you know, this is what makes it difficult to differentiate between a real coup and a psyop, because like they have to make it look like a real thing as much as possible. So if they want to convince everyone it was a real coup, they would have to do all that. They would have to say it as if it was really happening. And and also all the videos that you're showing now of roads being essentially destroyed so they could block the troop movements. That all had to happen, like in order to make it seem like it really like it was a real thing. So again, as I said, I don't know if it was a real thing. Like I'm open to all possibilities. I'm not saying it's impossible for Russia to happen, for the Russians to have something like this happen to them. Because like there is a history of PMCs or private military companies going rogue. Like there's a history of this, and not just obviously in Russia, but like in many other countries, because like most of the mercenaries are people with very let's say suspicious history. So essentially, like these people, it's like going against the law. It's in their blood. Like it's what they do. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's insubordination coming from PMCs, because like in 2007, the Blackwater or the Academy or whatever they're called now, they actually went rogue in Iraq, and like they killed a bunch of people, most of them civilians. Because they went like on a rampage
man,
in the
that's
street.
Propaganda, man. There's no videos of them like going around on like safari death trips and like killing randoms because of traffic jams. Yeah, nobody's seen those videos from like 10 years ago.
Yeah, nobody's seen those videos. And I mean, the point is like America tried to cover that up, like, and because like obviously like it's bad PR. So I'm saying it's very possible that the PMCs have a tendency to do such things, especially because Wagner guys, they got a lot more weapons than any Blackwater or any other like Western PMC ever got. Like they never got tanks or They did have like armored vehicles, but
You
they
know,
never got as much
I heard
firepower.
this crazy idea that, like, you know, Wagner PMC is actually like part of the, you know, extension of the FSB and like GRU and like et cetera, et cetera. And it's
They
basically
work
like,
with them.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, especially on the
I mean, in
international
Africa,
scale.
yeah, on an international scale, like the GRU and the SVR and all these like other Russian intelligence services that work outside of Russia, they've been working with the Wagner PMC like everywhere, literally like in every country they've been. So this is another like strange thing that they keep working with an organization that openly rebelled against their government. So that's the whole point. Like it's very sketchy.
Musk shared another meme that day. Um,
Yep.
this one doesn't get shared as often as the other meme with the girlfriend sleeping and the guy watching the Wagner coup. So maybe Musk knows something that we don't. Um,
Yep.
but
Very
yeah,
possible.
there's a lot of things that need to be uncovered, let's say, or looked at in detail about this whole thing. And one of them, I brought up the crash of like, oh no, the crash of the airplane. There's also the helicopter, and this is the helicopter. And if you look, you can see like the wheel marks where it was like dragged onto
Yep.
a field. Like I'm a conspiracy theorist by birth. Like I don't believe anything. So, you know, this looks suspy to me. If nothing else, other people who, you know, are pilots have pointed out that if it was a crash, the rotor blades would have probably not stayed in place, number one. And number
Yep.
two, the fire wouldn't have been only on the fuselage. And number three, there wouldn't have been any drag marks of the wheels.
Yeah. Well, now that you mentioned the rotor blades, one interesting thing about the Ka-52, it's actually the only chopper that has ejection seats. So the way it functions, there are like explosive charges in the
This,
rotor
I
blades.
think this is not. I think this is not the Ka-52. This is the electronic warfare helicopter
Oh, this is the
location.
MI8s. Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't see that. I thought maybe you
I
were talking
think.
about the
I
Ka-52.
think because you see the rotor.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah, that's right,
Ka,
that's right.
the Ka doesn't have
I
a
wasn't
rotor. I
paying
think.
attention to the details, but like
Yeah.
still, I've seen the Ka-52 wreckage, supposed wreckage, and it also has rotor blades. So
Oh,
that's
really?
like yeah, like the interesting thing is if the moment when the helicopter is hit, the first thing that happens if you activate the ejection seats, the rotor blades explode. So they're like because like you can't eject from a helicopter without being cut into pieces by the rotor blades. So the explosive charge destroys the rotor blades and removes them, and then the ejection seats fire up and eject the pilots. So this is an interesting point. Like there's a lot of, as I said, there's a lot of sketchy stuff going on that makes me feel that it might have been a psyop. So, like
Um,
again, not 100% sure, but like I'm still open to the possibility. So I don't know.
we should all draw attention to the fact that the Wagner Group was, you know, we've all seen that like thing with the two titles 15 or minutes apart where Wagner are terrorists and or Wagner are fighting for liberty.
Freedom
Um,
fighters, right?
what do you think was the offer that Godfather
Yeah,
Lukashenko offered?
the meme sums it up perfectly. I mean, jokes aside, again, like the running theory, one of the running theories is that Wagner is going to try to, get to Kiev from the north, from Belarus, and that was one of the reasons for the psyop.
Hmm.
Um, Apart from that, like I've seen some reports from Belarusian media where they're saying that Wagner is very good for the Belarusian military because they're going to relay all their like battlefield experience and everything else to the Belarusian army, which is going to like obviously like like it's going to increase their battle readiness in case that something goes down with NATO or with Ukraine and so on. So
The best comment about Belarus and Wagner that I've heard is Belarus had a Ministry of Defense. Now they have a Ministry of Attack as well. This one's also funny because it plays into the whole what if it was maskirovka or as they say political games. For those who don't believe in politics, they wouldn't believe in political games like Martyanov, who doesn't believe in political theory as a science. In any case, this person on Twitter says, imagine you're sitting anywhere in Russia, cheered for Prigozhin the last 24 hours. The FSB will be very busy in the coming days and weeks. Purge is always following a revolution, no matter what side won. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who might have sided with Wagner.
Yeah, especially in Rostov. I mean, we've seen all those guys like high-fiving the Wagner guys. I mean, the regular people in the streets and like giving them ice creams and food and water. So yeah, I mean, I don't know.
This was a meme made by the florist. On the morning of, where a video surfaced of like Moroccan tourists.
That couple was sketchy,
Moroccan
tourists. Things I've seen.
Moroccan couple, tourist, speaking English, all smiles, as Wagner invades Rostov, and like there's tanks on the street.
Like almost on point of laughing while talking to the reporter. Like I don't know, man. There's just a lot of smelly things. One of our previous guests was actually in Rostov. I won't say who, but he should be coming on later on this week. So we'll see what he has to say. This is going to be a recurring theme. Let's see. Is there any other meme that I did not show? This is a comedy show, so we have to like cover all the bases. Okay, no, the memes regarding this event have been covered. Is there anything else you'd like to point out or bring attention to that, like, is your takeaway from the whole experience of watching the collapse of Russia? Yeah, like we should take into account what the Wagner guys have been saying for months, and that was that they don't have ammo, right? So they don't have ammo, right? They don't have ammo to fight the Ukrainian army. But suddenly they have ammo to fight Putin and conquer a city of 20 million people. So protected by nuclear weapons.
That was good. I was not expecting
that's
that.
one of the things that's really, really like sketchy to me. I don't know. Which is another point because it means that like even if it was a real coup, it means they were at least lying about not having enough ammo, right? Mm-hmm. So like if they're lying about that, they might as well be lying about this. So again, like it's all like coming together. Like we'll know at some point, but
I think
for sure. But
lying.
Now, like we have to be open to all possibilities.
Everybody's lying. That's my take.
Yeah, it's true.
BBC first among them, but after the Wagner coup, a couple of days, or the Wagner Circus, as it will be officially known. Wagner still recruiting despite mutiny. BBC finds. They found. They didn't like investigate. They probably found it on Telegram somewhere at a Russian channel that we follow. The funniest thing about Twitter recently, I was watching some videos of France burning. And basically all the videos have watermarks that link back to Telegram. It's hilarious. And people are like, no, Telegram's stupid. Why do you want to be on Telegram?
Well, it's the premier like source of info these days. So I don't see like why anyone would not have it. So
yeah. Moving on. Serbian AI.
Yeah.
Did I play the video first?
Go in Skynet.
Did I? Yeah, there we go. I was on Twitter, and I should probably let's play the video first. This is Serbian AI video explaining Kosovo a little bit in English. Let me make sure the volume is on. It is. Let me remove ourselves and give the AI the full screen. And pay attention, everyone.
Today, as we stand on this sacred field of Kosovo, let us not forget the echoes of our ancestors that reverberate through these lands. We gather here on the hallowed day of Vidovdan, an anniversary of the Kosovo battle from 1389. Look around you. It was here, centuries ago, that our ancestors locked shields and drew their swords, not merely for a piece of land, but for their homeland, their dignity, and their identity. They stood firm, united by their orthodox faith and commitment to their values. They chose the kingdom of heaven over the kingdom of earth, a choice that resonates through our history, shaping who we are today. As the sun rose on that fateful day, they knew the odds they faced, yet they did not falter. They stared into the face of enemy and chose honor over fear and courage over retreat. Their spirit was indomitable, their resolve unshakable. That spirit and that resolve lives within us today. Today we face a new sort of battle. Today, we are fighting against evil forces that seek to marginalize us, to expel us, to erase our history, and to steal our culture. Today we are fighting not just for our bare lives, but for honor, freedom, and our right to exist as Serbs in Kosovo and Metohija. Let this Vidovdan to serve as a reminder for all of us, a reminder of the courage of our ancestors, of the sacrifices they made, of the values they stood for. A reminder that no matter the trials we face, no matter the odds stacked against us, we are and always will be Serbs, children of this land. Brothers and sisters, we stand together, rooted in our past, engaged in our present, and driven by our future. Together we will overcome. Together we are not afraid.
So that's SerbEagleAI on Twitter. It popped up in my feed and I was like, what is this? You know, as one does with things that are curious and intriguing. And it appears to be an AI that's educating the world in English about the struggle of the Serbs in Kosovo. Why don't you give us some of your take on the recent events of Kosovo, and I can put you full screen, and then I can go actually find his Twitter and show that to people so they can go find it.
Yeah, obviously, like the Albanians are trying to capitalize on everything that's going on with the SMO, with Russia being isolated. So they know that this is like their unique chance to get rid of all the Serbs from Kosovo, like those that they already haven't killed or expelled, and just take the entire province for themselves, and at some point unite with Albania, I guess. Obviously, they've never been hiding that was their plan, and I think now it's a perfect opportunity for them, and which is why they're like increasing pressure on the Serbs living there, and like they're doing that in concert with their Western allies. And I mean, I'm not buying into the whole thing that the West is suddenly like seeing a balanced looking to get some balanced position on Serbia and Kosovo, because they still support them. I mean, the fact that they expelled them from from that military exercise, the Europe Defender 23, and the fact that they are like, saying things against Kurdi, it doesn't mean anything for us. I mean, it doesn't change the fact that they would still bomb us if we tried to protect our people with, with actual weapons and I mean the military force. So this is a dangerous period for us, because like I understand why the Serbian government doesn't want to escalate anything, because they know that we don't have to be like attacked physically by the West or anyone. They know that like only the sanctions would probably destroy our economy within a week or so. So like it is true that we have to be careful about it. However, what I'm seeing a lot in Serbia is there are some people, not saying like there's a lot of them. I mean, like there's a lot of them, but still like they're not a major percentage of the population. But unfortunately, like many of them are behaving as if these people from Kosovo, these Serbs, as if they're aliens or something. The point is, like, this is our people. These are our people, and they've been living there since ever. So, like, the least we could do is try to sympathize with them, and like, we should be ready to fight.
By the time this video is out, I'll have another meme. I did a meme about the Serbian AI. Because as soon as I came across the Serbian AI, I wanted to bring attention to the let's say plight of the Serbs through the Serbian meme community as well, to get it, you know, more traction. And the AI actually liked my tweet. But the reason that I bring it up is because the upcoming meme that I've already kind of designed is based on this village where he says he's from, this AI. And it is like, you know, has like the blurb on Wikipedia says that the Serbs have been there since the 13th century. But currently there are no ethnic Serbs living there. In any case, let me minimize this. And yeah, so SerbEagleAI on Twitter. And he seems to have a new video. Let's see if we can play
for war
it.
Crimes
there we go.
They did not commit. Today I want to shed light on a deeply unsettling reality unfolding in Kosovo and Metohija. Innocent Serbs are being falsely accused and imprisoned for war crimes they did not commit. Their real crime? Refusing to surrender their properties to the Albanians. Take the case of Milorad Djokovic, a 55-year-old Serb from Vitomirica. His house was razed to the ground by his Albanian neighbors shortly after a court verdict confirmed his rightful ownership. He was subsequently arrested on the grounds of participating in a war crime, coinciding suspiciously with attempts by local authorities to seize his property. Milorad returned to Vitomirica 15 years ago. Upon his return, the Albanian Prekaj family, who used his property, accused Milorad of having killed their father. Later it turned out that their father, Sadria Prekaj, died after the war in a traffic accident. Similar stories of baseless allegations continues. Nenad Arsic was sentenced to 6 years in prison for inhumanely treating 2 Albanians during the war. Arsic's real offense? He had refused to sell part of his estate to the accusers. Gavrilo Milosavljevic from Istok has been detained for over 6 months under suspicion of war crimes. His arrest occurred right after he legally regained ownership of his mother's apartment, from which she had been brutally taken away and killed 23 years before. These stories expose a deeply troubling pattern. Serbs are being targeted and falsely accused so Albanians could seize their properties. They are being unjustly punished for holding on to what is rightfully theirs. Dear friends, let us not be blind to this grave injustice. The world must hear for these false accusations for what they are: an orchestrated attack on the rights and property of the Serbs in Kosovo.
I think this is very important for not just for the world, but also for many Serbs to hear, because oftentimes we hear that, you know, the Serbs from Kosovo sold their property to the Albanians because, you know, they were just bored in Kosovo and just decided to, you know, go and live in someplace else. Well, the fact is, like, a lot of these people were forced to sell their property, otherwise it would have been just taken away from them.
Or killed.
Or they would have been killed. Like what happened to some of the people that the AI mentioned here. So the point is, like,
before we move on,
people,
one second before we move on, I just want to point out that I just noticed that Twitter has officially changed to X Corp. Copyright X Corp right here. So yeah, there's that. Go on.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, like, the Serbs who are living in Kosovo cannot be protected, cannot protect themselves. Like, they need their state, they need Serbia to protect them in any way possible. So, like, if we can't do it with the force of arms, we have to do it. We have to find other ways of doing that. So, like, we can't just pretend that these people don't exist. Like, they are our
Nebojša Malić, what's it called? Pointed out when I drew his attention to this AI, he's like, oh my god, this is like, his tweet is like, oh my god, the Serbs have weaponized AI is the peaceful resistance. The point is, this AI is definitely doing a good job. But one thing that's already been noticed by myself first, but like openly, people asked him on his Twitter account, is that the only account that he follows on Twitter is the White House account. And when people ask him about it, he responds with gifs. So it's excellent. It's excellent. Let's hear another video. This is another one. The official statement. There's actually two videos. I think they might even play back to back if we're lucky. Let's see. Where's this TV only?
Heart of Europe, in the northern part of Kosovo, a grave situation is unfolding. Today, the self-proclaimed government of Kosovo has labeled the Civil Defense and the Northern Brigade organizations, which operate in this Serbian majority area, as terrorist organizations. They claim that these entities are stirring up recent tensions, but the reality on the ground is entirely different. Northern Brigade, an organization the government accuses, essentially does not exist. It is not a registered entity, and there is no official list of members or any evidence of their meetings, plans, or actions as such. Its only tangible presence can be found in the graffiti on the walls and streets of Kosovska Mitrovica. The arrest papers for the alleged members of this organization are falsified. This is an orchestrated effort by the so-called Kosovo security forces to criminalize the Serb population, who are merely expressing their dissent against the oppressive measures of the self-proclaimed Kosovo institutions. Next, let's consider the Civil Defense Organization. It has existed with a singular mission: to protect the Serb people in the north of Kosovo from potential Albanian attacks, which happened occasionally. The biggest one was the March pogrom in 2004. After that Albanian operation of ethnic cleansing, Serbs established civil defense with the main purpose of protection. Civil defense operated until 2015, when it was officially disbanded as part of the dialogue aimed at normalizing relations. People who were members of this organization stayed gathered to react if the security situation worsened, and all of them are local residents whose primary goal is to safeguard their homes and families from a new pogrom. The recent decision to brand these organizations as terrorist entities is a move towards the criminalization of Serbs and the legitimization of their unjust arrests. This targeted harassment of Serbs cannot be allowed to continue. The world must take notice, and all those European and American parliamentarians must stop spreading lies and look deeper to find the real cause and truth. Let us also not forget that many of those in the self-proclaimed Kosovo government, including the Minister of Interior, who voted for this decision, were members of the Albanian terrorist organization Kosovo Liberation Army. From 1996 to 2000, this group conducted numerous terrorist attacks on Yugoslav police, civilians, and institutions. To equate the actions of the Northern Brigade and Civil Defense with those of the UCK is not just unfair, it is a blatant manipulation of reality. In February 1998, US President Bill Clinton's special envoy to the Balkans, Robert Gelbard, declared without reservation that the Albanian KLA was a terrorist group. Today, we must not allow a distortion of the truth to promote an agenda that criminalizes an entire people. This is not just about Serbs or Albanians. It's about human rights, democracy, and the principles upon which we've built our global society. This is a call to the world to act, to intervene, and to prevent the unjust criminalization of Serbs who are fighting for basic human rights. We must work together to ensure that truth prevails over falsehood, justice over injustice, and peace over conflict. From 1996 to 2000.
Pause. There you go. All right. Pretty powerful stuff. I can't wait to get the guy on the show once he becomes public, whoever is behind this, or team, or whatever it is that's behind this. I can't wait to get them on the show. Like, I want to know, is the text written? Like, did they go to ChatGPT and be like, pretend you are UN, spokesperson trying to raise awareness about the plight, and like write a speech, and like boom, ChatGPT, and then they copy paste that into like, software that animates a face in a suit. And is it fully AI? Like, what are the parameters? I want to know. But seriously, this is really, really crazy stuff.
we should support this. Like, if not the government, then like the Serbs should definitely support. Like all of us should be organized and support something like this, because like it's not invasive. We're not doing anything bad. We're just like relaying what actually happened in Kosovo and like what's been going on to Serbs for essentially decades, and what they've been going through and what kind of like violence they've been going through. The things that the AI didn't mention, obviously, is what happened during World War II when Nazi-aligned Albanian terrorists. Well, I mean, I don't know what else to call them. They were also killing Serbs, like
collaborators.
Yeah, collaborators, like Nazi collaborators, like including the SS division of Skanderbeg, as it's what's called. Like they were killing. They killed tens of thousands of Serbs there. And like they've expelled others, hundreds of thousands of others, and what's been going on for centuries with Islamization and Albanization, if that's what it's called in English. Also, like what happened to hundreds of thousands of Serbs who were living in northern Albania, who were like forced to become Albanians under Enver Hoxha, their like communist dictator. So. Like, I mean, like this has been going on
let me
quite
give some background
time.
to people who might not know. You can find even videos of like documentaries about this on the YouTubes. What you mentioned about Serbs in Albania, basically they know they're Serbs. They intermarry with other former Serbs. They're quote unquote Muslim, but and they have like Muslim names, but they all know and remember and keep track of their Serbian names from like 3, 4, 5 generations ago. Just to clue some people in on some history, because
Exactly. So like this, what has been going on to Serbs living in not just Kosovo but other areas occupied by the Albanians. This is like not new. Like we've been going through this for centuries, and the rest of Serbia cannot behave as if this is happening to someone else, because like this is exactly what would happen to any of us if the Albanians ever got to our regions, like regions which are further away from Kosovo. So, and again, like we have to try to help these people as much as possible. Like, I mean, obviously, as far as I'm concerned, I would personally go and do it with the force of arms, like myself included. Like I would be part of that gladly. However, I realize that like the global situation, the geopolitical situation is not like good for that now. But at least we have to try to support. So
did you notice that the Americans brought their biggest aircraft carrier into like Croatia, like last week?
Yeah,
Split.
Yeah, like it's a clear message to us. And like a few weeks before that, a B-1 bomber, B-1B bomber flew over Sarajevo. Like it's a clear message to yeah, but still, I mean, it's a clear message to us. Like what they're trying to say is that we're going to bomb you again if you try to defend your own people in Kosovo and elsewhere. So that's what they're like. That's the message they're sending.
I just hope there's like a Kinjal that's already got, or 3, that's already got a couple of addresses in the neighborhood. Number 1. And number 2, considering the Iranians are getting missiles and Serbia is supposedly going to get drones from a Middle Eastern country, because we're not going to get the Bayraktars, because the Turks, other than sending troops as K4 troops to occupy
to Kosovo, they're also
Mehmet Sultan base in army. In Kosovo, they also sent them Bayraktars, which have been proven effective in Ukraine, obviously. Lol. But in any case, Serbia, who was supposed to buy them, and I think even ordered them before Kosovo, is not going to get them, but is going to get them from a Middle Eastern ally, which rumors are maybe is Iran. So what I'm getting at is, if Iran is giving us those, why don't they just give us one of those new hypersonic missiles? They supposedly have really good range, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't need that range for the Albanians. Like several 100 kilometers.
It's not for the Albanians. It's for the aircraft carriers and the Med. But you're thinking local. I'm thinking global. On that note, let's hope World War III doesn't start. Let's hope this AI here that says, what does it say? Official account of the first ever AI used in resistance and to inform the world against the real terror on Serbs in Kosovo and Metohija. Kosovo, Serbia, SerbEagleAI. Samodreža meme coming up very soon. There we go. Back to you and me. Drago, it's been 45 minutes. Some people like this exact, let's say, segment of time to a lot to wasting to listening to us talk. Let's find some music to roll this out. Everybody who's been here for the whole time, thank you. Like, share, subscribe. Tell people about the show. Have a good laugh. And see you soon. Drago, we'll be back.
Yep. It's a pleasure.